moving off safely then, okay, for this test route. Okay, just for these cyclists. And then they'll be asking you to take the next right onto Mother's Way. Yep, so first gear all the way here. And good position, good accuracy. And at the end of this road, they'll be asking you to take a right, please. So, good mirrors and signal. Good assessing both sides. And good emerging. Well done. Okay, now at the end of this road, okay, they'll be asking you to turn right. So like we already know, the giveaway lines is slightly worn out, so make sure you position correctly, please. Good position onto the giveaway lines. And good emerging onto the new road. Okay, now the roundabout, they'll be asking you to follow the third exit, Dewsbury. Okay, so it's Dewsbury. Okay, so I'll leave this one to you then. Good routine. And good position onto the roundabout on the inner side of the invisible line. Good mirror signal coming off there. Well done. Okay, so as we know on this hill, they like us to pull over to the left. So when it's safe, please do that. Pull over to the left at a safe, convenient and legal place. Thank you. Okay. And good position to the left there. Well done. Okay, and as soon as you've pulled over, they'd want you to move off again. So remember, it's a hill start, so we must get a nice high clutch bite so we don't roll backwards and stall the car. Good clutch, good observations, good moving off. Well done. And at the roundabout, we'll be taking the second exit, please. The second exit ahead. Okay. Now this is a tricky one. So I'll leave the first part of the roundabout to you. Well assessed, good position. And as you emerge onto the exit, they'll be asking you to proceed and position into the right lane when it's safe. So make sure you do that. Make sure it's safe on the middle lane now. Well positioned and good lane change there. And good use of handbrake on the traffic lights. Okay, so we will be following the traffic lights, the road round to the right. So make sure you position yourself when this left lane going round to the right splits into two. We need to be in the middle lane, because if we're in the left lane, that will lead onto the motorway, and we don't want to be going on the motorway on a driving test. You will fail. So please position yourself in the middle lane. Okay? Yep. Good moving off, good 3 mirrors before you moved off there. We're looking out for how close the cars are behind us and any cyclists that might be filtering through. Good position on the road, and we'll be following this road for some time. Again, good use of handbrake. Okay, the handbrake, always make sure that the cars, it's always safer to use the handbrake, just in case other cars hit into the back of us, then we're less likely to move forward into the main road. as we pass the first exit, we become the left lane, so position yourself accordingly. Well done. And we were following this road, A638, for some distance. Now don't forget it's a 50 road, so when it's safe, build up your speed. Now on a dual carriageway like this, it's important to maintain your speed. Okay, so we use the left lane because that's the lane for driving in. The right lane is generally used for overtaking, but if there is an obstruction or if there are slow moving vehicles in the left lane, then we would use the right lane to overtake that slow moving vehicle or obstruction and then come back into the left lane when it was safe to do so. But for now, we can see we've got a nice gap behind that grey car in front. We've got easily a 2-second gap, so we're safe to proceed in the left lane. So we'll continue following this lane for some distance now to the next roundabout. And as we're going down the dual carriageway also, it's a good idea to be checking your mirrors frequently. So that by frequently we mean probably about 7 to 10 seconds. Check the centre mirror and even the two side mirrors as well, just to get a picture of what's going on behind you. Good mirror checks, well done. Also, I'd just like to say as well that we could be using 5th gear on this particular dual carriageway. Okay, they always like to see eco-efficient driving. Okay, they want to see people using less fuel on the road. So when we can, please use a higher gear because it is more efficient to do so. And we're approaching a roundabout now, and we will be taking the first exit, Rupesh. So please prepare for that. The exit's to opposite, so it's the first exit opposite. Yeah, well done for indicating, and good assessment to the right. And well proceeded onto the first exit. Well done. It is a 30 road here, so adjust your speed accordingly. Okay, it might have felt a bit fast, on the dual carriageway, so just make sure you do keep the speed limit disciplined to 30. And on the next roundabout, it's actually the second exit right. The second exit right, so we'll be signalling right because on the face of a clock, it does come after 12 o'clock. Okay, and the second gear will be useful here to use to keep the control of the speed of the car. That'll allow you to mirrors and signal after the first exit. It'll give you that much time to do that easily then. And it is still a 30 road. It's a much wider road, so if it is safe, then proceed and pick up the speed to 30 when you can, please. Good mirror checks passing all these parked vehicles. And just a note, these islands in the middle of the road, okay, if anybody was on the island in the middle of the road, we don't have to stop for them. Okay, so we wouldn't stop if anybody came to the island in the middle of the road. Okay, we have priority. We only give way at traffic lights and zebra crossings and so on and so forth. Okay, so just look out for that because people do try to, come to the middle, but it wouldn't be right for us to stop unnecessarily.
Okay. This was the question I was about to ask.
Oh, good. Okay, so I've answer that question.
Yep.
So, good.
And the same goes if someone, at island, someone is coming from opposite side. So what
Yes.
should we do in that condition? Should we cross? Should we stop for them?
So if there's an island on the opposite side and someone starts to cross over, then we must obviously acknowledge that, but proceed, because our responsibility is the cars that are on the main road, the cars behind us. They won't be expecting us to stop for those kinds of pedestrians. So what we would do is try to proceed, but cautiously, and only stop if they if the pedestrian would come out and force us to stop in that situation. Okay. And as we negotiate the next bend, there's a big mini roundabout, and they will be asking you to take a second exit right at the roundabout, a mini roundabout, please. So adjust your speed accordingly. And we give way to the right. Well done. That grey car was quite far away, so he was well within your rights to proceed. Well done. On this road, it's quite narrow, there's lots of bends, it's still a 30 road, but we have to adjust for the hazards that we see in front of us, and that's the winding bends, and pedestrians, there's side roads, there's cars emerging from side roads. So at the minute 22-23 miles an hour would be sufficient on a road like this. Short distance, we will be taking a left. It's just where the white and the red car are on the left hand side. Just after there, we'll be turning left. Well done, good. Well done for slowing down. Yep, and I'd use first gear here because it is quite a sharp bend and it's quite an upward incline. So first gear there would be preferable. And well done for giving way to that oncoming car. And here we have to position ourselves in the middle of the road past these parked vehicles. When it's safe, we have to pull in and give other cars that are oncoming way if we need to. We're well positioned here. We're not blocking off the side road, okay? And we're waiting for the traffic lights to change so that we might proceed then. Good mirror checks. And at the end of this road, we will be turning right. Now at the moment they've got construction works going on here, so we have to be extra cautious. So here, we might want to use first gear nice and early. And lean forward, look both sides, make sure it is safe. Well done. And that was good emerging. That's a tricky one, that, but you did very well there. Well done. Well adjusted for these cars turning in, and you did right there to keep the wheels rolling. We must keep traffic flowing on the road that we're driving on when we can. Well done, well adjusted again for this van emerging out. Keep following the road ahead. It is a 30 road, but of course we're adjusting for the situations. And right now we're going about 19 miles an hour, so that's sufficient for this particular section of road because of all these parked vehicles and hazards. Well adjusted there, and we'll keep following the road ahead when we can. Now there's a bicycle section in front of us, so we just position appropriately, not onto the bike section. If you position and stop on the bike section on your driving test, that will of course fail you. So please be aware of those bike sections and don't block them off unnecessarily. checks, moving off. Well done. Here we can see the surroundings changing to more of a countryside road. It is still 30, so please proceed cautiously. Okay, we've got a number of warnings of sharp bends to the left. We've got 2 continuous white lines in the middle of the road. That means no overtaking on those kinds of road markings. Well adjusted for the sharp bend. Now is pull over to the left at a safe place, please. Make sure it's safe, convenient and legal. So we're looking out for somewhere where the curb is raised. This is fine, well done. Don't block off the bus stop. See will do. Yeah, we might have to go forward. So in this situation we can change, because we're actually on a bus lane here, so we can adjust. Okay, we're well within our rights to adjust. We can go slightly forward here, okay, and pull over just somewhere here. That'll be fine. Where the curb's raised,
so,
yeah, this is good.
We can park ahead of
The bus lane,
lane, but not before the bus lane.
Well, in that situation, if you looked on the floor, there was a marking for the bus lane. Okay, now that's finished behind us, so we could have actually, as long as we pull over and we're not obstructing any of the markings of the bus stop, then that's fine. If we do make a mistake, be aware that you can ask the examiner that you want to adjust, but make sure you do it safely.
Okay.
So like you did there very well, you signal back off again, back to the right, you moved off, you didn't obstruct any other cars, you moved forward into a safer place, you pulled over at a safe, convenient and legal space.
Okay.
And now you're telling the examiner, I want you to assess my parking. So now he'd open the door and he'd check that it's safe, convenient and legal. And you are allowed to make adjustments as long as you do it safely.
Okay.
Don't make a rash decision and just move off and not check for other vehicles.
Okay.
So well done for that. You kept your composure. And please move away when you can, when it's safe to do so.
Definitely. Came out of nowhere. Yeah. I mean, sometimes that happens. If you hear the noise of vehicles, I mean, then it's okay to signal. And I like the way that you crept forward, because those motorbikes were coming quite fast, and they wasn't paying attention to the hazard, and you slowed down there and gave them plenty of space to pass you safely before you committed and moved off. So what you did there was very right. You moved off, you crept forward, you allowed them space to pass, and then you kept moving when the gap appeared. So that was well negotiated. Well done for that. Now here we've come into a town centre kind of area of Osset, and we have to be wary of pedestrians, parked vehicles. Further down, we'll be expected to negotiate some zebra crossings. In a built-up area like this, we would expect pedestrians to be approaching the crossing. So right now we've approached the 20 zone, and if we have a look there,
there's some pedestrians, but they've carried on walking, which is fine, but you was cautious to that. That was very good. Okay. So maximum 20 miles an hour here. Okay, there's a lot of obstructions. There's a bus on the right hand side, so we have to slow down, give way to vehicles passing. Well proceeded, that was cautious. Have a look both sides of the zebra crossing. Proceed if you can. Well done. Just look out for people crossing over where they shouldn't be. Okay. Well done. And in the distance there's a white building there. Just as we pass the white building, we are taking the next left, please. Yep, well negotiated. Good first gear use there. It's quite a sharp turn there. First gear would be preferable to use there. And now we are on a one-way road. So as you're proceeding, just be cautious of the sharp bend. And here they will be asking you to turn left. So when you can, please turn left. And it does go on to a two-way road, so look out for cars coming towards us now. So that short section of one-way road is finished. We're now on the two-way section of road, so look for other vehicles coming towards us, and we will be asked to turn right at the end of this road. So position yourself on the left-hand side, because it's a two-way road. Make sure your positions are accurate here, and it is a closed junction. It means the observations are totally closed, so you have to peep and creep your way out of this situation here. Excellent speed, excellent observations. You continuously checked both sides and you emerged very safe there. Well done. And just look out for the obstructions. There's a lady parked up on the left here, and there's two yellow lines. So just pass her safely and proceed when you can. And smile at everybody, because we don't want no aggravation on the driving test. We're here to pass. Good gearing down to negotiate these sharp bends, and I'd like you to pull up on the left hand side, please, somewhere safe over here if you can. Okay, we'll turn left then, and just get a bit further into the road, and we can pull up somewhere as we negotiate the bend, somewhere safe, please. Well done. So here, normally the examiner will be asking you it's the independent driving, okay? So he'll be asking you to follow the navigation for some distance. On the independent driving, well done for moving off, by the way. You've still got to make sure that it's safe to move off. You're just following directions from the navigation, but you must proceed safely and carefully at all times. Okay, so traffic lights changes will not be notified on the navigation. It's up to you to proceed safely and to act accordingly to those road markings and road signs that you see. Okay, so it's still testing you on your ability to drive safely.
So one question, when they use this device on the test day, do they use their phone or
so the navigation will be used by the examiner. That'll be brought in by the examiner, and it's a TomTom.
Okay.
It's a device that they put in the centre of the console, on top of the near the windscreen,
Okay.
and it'll be theirs, and it'll be only there is you can't. They don't use a phone.
So one question, for example, in phone we can see the speed limit and other things.
Yes.
So does their device have the same thing, or?
Right. So their device will have the speed limit just like our device has.
Okay.
Okay. But you can't take that to be certain because there's a lot of at the moment there's a lot of changes happening. Yes, there's a lot of construction work going on. So they will make a disclaimer. They will actually say to you that when we're following the navigation, that you mustn't take the speed limit as to be legal. It's up to you to make sure and look for the physical road signs and follow them safely. So if it said 30 miles an hour physically on the road, and it says 40 miles an hour on your navigation, the physical road sign would supersede the navigation.
Okay.
So they will disclaim that. So it's not good enough for you to say that the navigation told me that it was okay to do 30 and it was actually a 20 road, for example. Okay?
So the reason I asked this question because of the same thing what you have explained. Many a times, normally it says, for example, 70, but because of the construction, it has been reduced to 50 now.
Yes. A lot of this is going on in the United Kingdom, as you know, not just Leeds. So it is up to you to make, the decision on the road markings and road signs that you see, on the roads that you're driving on. Okay. So the navigation has given a direction quite far away. There are a number of side roads in between, but we must be accurate in that we're picking the correct road that it's talking about. Okay. Now, just something else about navigation. Okay, if we're following navigation,
take the next right onto Queen's Drive.
As we're negotiating this next right, okay, it's not important to follow each and every road sign accurately. Okay, so if you pick the wrong route turning,
continue on Queen's Drive for half a mile.
That would be insignificant unless what you did was dangerous or serious. So, for example, if you indicated left and you turned right, that would be deemed as a serious, because you're telling other vehicles and other people you're turning left and then you turned right. So they might be thinking you're turning left when actually you was turning right. So be very careful. If you miss your turning, the navigation will navigate you correctly. It will reroute you so that you will be then navigated onto the correct road. So don't make any drastic turns or deviations which can affect other road users.
In a quarter of a mile, turn right onto Wakefield Road, A638.
So like the navigation is asking us to take a right at the traffic lights.
Turn right onto Wakefield Road, A638.
Do we need to indicate over here or no? This
Well,
lane
yes,
is...
yeah. We can indicate as long as it doesn't harm the situation.
Okay.
So, like, if we don't indicate left because we're turning right, then it wouldn't be harmful to how we're telling people around us what our intention is. As long as it doesn't harm the situation, then it's fine to do. Okay. Now, if at any time you missed your turning,
in 200 yards, turn left onto Goldsmith Avenue.
the most correct thing to do is make a correct course of action, okay, and
turn
a safe
left
course
onto
of action.
Goldsmith Avenue.
But you've read the navigation really well, and you controlled the vehicle, so that was well done.
In 200 yards, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto Albert Drive.
Okay, and we will just pull over to the left at a safe place, please. Well picked up there. Okay, and then after this navigation part of the test is finished, the examiner will tell you, okay, then we're finished with the navigation. He'll then continue to switch the system off, and then he'll tell you that he will give you directions from now until the end of the test.
Okay.
So we've pulled up really well, and I'll give you instructions from now until the end of the driving test.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yep.
when you can, please move away safely and then follow my instruction. At the roundabout, we will be taking the second exit. Okay. Well assessed coming onto the roundabout. Again, good position left of the invisible line. Good militant signal coming off, well done. And as you already might be aware, we are near the test station, so we will be turning on the next road left, please, when we can.